Chapter 1. The Black Death Arrives. It is the year 1348. You wake before sunrise. The streets outside are unusually quiet. Something feels wrong. Very wrong. For weeks, rumors have spread across Europe. Entire villages disappearing, families vanishing overnight, merchants whispering about a mysterious disease. Then the first patient arrives, a young man covered in strange black swellings. His fever is severe. His breathing is weak. You have never seen anything like it. By the end of the week, dozens are sick. By the end of the month, hundreds are dying. The Black Death has arrived. Fear spreads faster than the disease itself. Neighbors stop speaking to each other. Markets become empty. Churches fill with desperate prayers. Most people run from the sick, but you cannot. You are a plague doctor, and this is your duty. Every day, you visit homes filled with suffering. Every day, you witness death. Every day, you wonder if you will be next. Yet tomorrow, you will return. Because if you don't, no one else will. Chapter 2. The Beak Mask. The plague is spreading faster than anyone imagined. Every street hides sickness. Every house hides fear. Every church bell announces another death. The city is slowly dying, and you are expected to stop it. Before leaving your home, you put on your uniform, thick leather gloves, heavy black robe, wide-brimmed hat. Then comes the most important piece, the mask. The mask looks terrifying, a long bird-like beak, round glass eyes, a face that resembles death itself. Children cry when they see it. Adults avoid looking directly at it. But the mask has a purpose. Doctors believe disease travels through poisonous air. To protect yourself, the beak is stuffed with herbs, lavender, mint, rose petals, strong perfumes, anything that might block the deadly air. Today, you know germs cause disease. But in the Middle Ages, nobody understands bacteria. Nobody understands viruses. Nobody understands infection. People are fighting an invisible enemy they cannot see. Your medical tools are simple. Herbs, vinegar, primitive medicines, sharp instruments, and hope. Mostly hope. As you walk through the city, people move aside. Some see you as a hero, others see you as a warning, because plague doctors only appear where death follows. A child points at you. His mother quickly pulls him away. She is afraid, not of you, but of what your presence means. Disease has reached their neighborhood. By sunset, you have visited dozens of patients. Most are weak. Many are dying. Some will not survive the night. Yet there is still more work waiting tomorrow. As darkness falls, you remove the mask. Your face is covered in sweat. Your body aches. Your mind is exhausted. But deep down, you know something. Tomorrow, you will wear the mask again. Chapter 3. A City of Death. The year is 1349. The plague has spread across the city. What began as a few isolated cases has become a nightmare. Every morning brings more deaths. Every evening brings more fear. The city you once knew is disappearing. You begin your daily rounds before sunrise. The streets are strangely quiet. Shops remain closed. Markets are empty. Even the birds seem absent. The city feels haunted. Then you hear it. Wooden wheels creaking against stone roads. A funeral cart slowly approaches. The cart is filled with bodies, covered with simple cloth, destined for mass graves outside the city walls. Just months ago, funerals were personal. Families gathered, priests prayed, friends mourned. Now there are simply too many dead. The city cannot keep up. As you continue your rounds, church bells ring constantly. Once, twice, 3 times, then again. The sound never stops. Every bell announces another death. Entire families are disappearing. Parents, children, grandparents. Some homes are completely empty. Doors remain open. Meals remain unfinished. Life has simply vanished. Fear changes people. Neighbors avoid each other. Friends stop visiting. Families isolate themselves. Everyone fears infection. Everyone fears death. Some people blame foreigners. Others blame religion. Others believe the plague is God's punishment. Nobody truly understands the disease. Nobody knows how to stop it. Every day, you witness suffering. Every day you lose patience. Some are young, some are old, some are rich, some are poor. The plague does not care. It treats everyone the same, yet despite everything, you continue working. Every home visited, every patient examined, every life helped. Even when success feels impossible, even when hope feels distant, you refuse to stop. One evening you climb the city wall. The sun slowly sets. Smoke rises from funeral fires. Church bells echo in the distance. The city below looks broken, but it is still alive, and as long as people remain alive, there is still hope. Tomorrow will bring more patience, more suffering, more difficult choices. The plague is far from over. In fact, the worst is yet to come. Soon, you will enter the plague houses themselves, places where death waits behind every door. Chapter 4. Inside the plague houses. The next morning, a messenger arrives at your door. Another family has fallen ill. Their entire household is infected. The messenger refuses to enter the neighborhood. He simply points toward a distant street, then quickly leaves. Fear now controls the city. You gather your equipment, your satchel, your herbs, your notes, your mask. Then you begin walking toward the infected district. Every step feels heavier than the last. The closer you get, the quieter the streets become. Windows are shut, doors are locked. Entire neighborhoods seem abandoned. Yet behind those walls, people are suffering. You arrive at the first house. A red mark has been painted on the door. Everyone knows what it means. Disease lives inside. Death may already be waiting. Slowly, you push the door open. The smell hits immediately. Sweat. Illness. Fear. The air feels heavy. Even breathing becomes uncomfortable. Inside, a family waits. The father is burning with fever. The mother struggles to breathe. Their children sit silently nearby. Everyone looks at you, hoping for answers, hoping for a cure. You inspect the symptoms. Swollen black lumps, high fever, extreme weakness, pain throughout the body. The signs are unmistakable. The Black Death. You prescribe herbs, recommend rest, offer comfort, but deep down, you know the truth. Most victims will not survive. The plague is stronger than anything medicine can offer. House after house, street after street. The same tragedy repeats. Entire families suffering, entire neighborhoods infected. The scale of the disaster becomes impossible to ignore. Then something terrifying happens. After leaving one home, you begin coughing. Your heart races. For a moment, panic takes over. Have you been infected? Is this how your story ends? Hours pass. Then a day, then another. The cough disappears. Relief washes over you. This time you were lucky. Many other doctors were not. Despite the danger, you continue your work. Every patient deserves care. Every family deserves compassion, even when the outcome seems hopeless, even when fear follows you everywhere. As winter approaches, the city grows even darker. Food becomes scarce. Fear becomes stronger. Hope becomes harder to find. Soon the plague will begin affecting everyone, rich and poor alike. No one will be safe. Chapter 5. The Rich and the Poor. The plague shows no mercy. It does not care about wealth. It does not care about power. It does not care about status, whether peasant or noble. Everyone bleeds the same. Everyone fears the same disease. Everyone can die. For months, the poor suffered the most. Crowded homes, dirty streets, limited food, limited medicine. The disease spread quickly through their neighborhoods. Entire communities disappeared. Many nobles believed they were safe. They lived in large houses, behind strong walls, far away from crowded districts. They thought distance could protect them. They were wrong. One morning, a royal messenger arrives. His horse is exhausted. His face is pale. A noble family has fallen ill. They request your immediate help. You leave at once. Hours later, you arrive at a magnificent estate. Gold decorations, expensive furniture, beautiful gardens, yet inside the mansion, the same fear exists. The same suffering exists. The lord of the house lies in bed, burning with fever, struggling to breathe, covered with the same black swellings. The disease makes no distinction between rich and poor. The plague treats everyone equally. Nearby, servants quietly cry. Family members pray. Guards stand helplessly. Wealth cannot buy a cure. Power cannot stop infection. Titles mean nothing against the Black Death. As news spreads, panic reaches the highest levels of society. Merchants flee cities. Nobles abandon estates. Wealthy families retreat into the countryside. Everyone searches for safety. Few find it. Meanwhile, the poor have nowhere to run. They remain in crowded neighborhoods, sharing limited food, sharing limited space, sharing the same deadly air. Their suffering grows worse each day. You spend your days moving between two worlds: castles, cottages, noble estates, small wooden homes. Everywhere you go, the story is the same: fear, sickness, loss. One evening, a young noble asks a question. Why is this happening? You wish you had an answer, but nobody does. Not kings, not priests, not doctors. The plague remains a mystery. As winter deepens, death continues spreading. Rich families suffer. Poor families suffer. Entire towns suffer. The Black Death has united everyone through fear. No wall is high enough. No fortune is large enough. No one is truly safe. But something even more dangerous is beginning to spread. Not disease. Fear. Desperation. Panic. Soon people will stop fearing the plague itself. Soon they will begin fearing each other, and that may be even worse. Chapter 6. When fear takes over. At first, people feared the plague. Now they fear each other. Every cough attracts attention. Every fever sparks suspicion. Every stranger becomes a potential threat. The city is no longer united against the disease. It is turning against itself. Rumors spread faster than the plague itself. Some claim poisoned wells are causing the sickness. Others blame travelers. Others blame merchants. Everyone searches for someone to blame. Few search for the truth. Fear changes behavior. Neighbors stop helping neighbors. Friends stop trusting friends. Families lock their doors. Entire communities become divided. Panic begins replacing reason. One afternoon, you witness a mob gathering. Angry voices fill the square. Fingers point. Accusations spread. No evidence exists, yet fear has convinced people otherwise. Innocent lives are suddenly in danger. You try to calm the crowd. You explain that nobody truly understands the disease. You remind them that fear solves nothing. But fear rarely listens to reason. Panic has become stronger than logic. As the weeks pass, many people stop reporting symptoms. They fear isolation. They fear rejection. They fear being abandoned. Some hide their sickness until it is too late. The plague spreads even further. Hospitals become overwhelmed. Churches become overwhelmed. Graveyards become overwhelmed. Every institution struggles to keep up. The city feels as if it is collapsing. Yet life somehow continues. One evening, a young mother approaches you. She is terrified. Her husband is sick. Her children are sick. She asks if everything will be okay. For a moment, you cannot answer, because you simply do not know. That night, sleep becomes impossible. You think about every patient, every family, every loss. You wonder how much longer the city can survive. You wonder how much longer you can survive. Then something unexpected happens. The city begins adapting. Communities organize support. Families help one another again. Volunteers assist the sick. Hope slowly returns. Not because the plague is gone, but because people refuse to give up. For the first time in months, you see something stronger than fear: courage. Ordinary people helping strangers, risking their own safety, choosing compassion over panic. It reminds you why you continue this work. The plague remains deadly. The danger remains real. But the city is changing. People are learning to live with uncertainty, learning to support each other, learning to survive. Yet the worst year of the plague is still approaching. The deadliest months lie ahead. More deaths, more suffering, more difficult choices. The Black Death has one final test waiting for the city, and for you. Chapter 7. The worst year. The year is 1350. The plague has been raging for years, yet somehow things become even worse. More people are infected. More people are dying. More families are disappearing. This will become the deadliest year anyone can remember. Every morning begins with bad news. New infections. New deaths. New neighborhoods affected. Messengers arrive constantly. There are never enough doctors, never enough supplies, never enough time. The graveyards are full. Workers dig larger pits. Funeral carts move day and night. The city can no longer bury the dead individually. Mass graves become the new reality. Church bells ring almost non-stop. Their sound echoes across the city. Every bell tells the same story. Someone else is gone. Someone else has lost the fight. You barely sleep anymore. Patients need help at all hours. Some beg for medicine. Some beg for answers. Some simply beg for hope. You give whatever comfort you can. One afternoon, you visit a house you know well. Months earlier, you treated the father, then the mother, then the oldest son. Now only one child remains, sitting alone, waiting, hoping, afraid. Moments like this stay with you, long after the disease is gone, long after the city recovers. Some wounds cannot be seen. Some scars never disappear. Yet even during the darkest days, people continue helping each other. Priests care for the sick. Volunteers distribute food. Neighbors support grieving families. Courage survives where fear once ruled. Then something strange begins happening. New infections still appear, but not as many. Funeral carts become less frequent. Church bells ring less often. At first, nobody notices. Then everyone notices. Weeks pass, then months. For the first time in years, some patients recover, families celebrate, markets slowly reopen. Children return to the streets. Life begins returning. Nobody knows exactly why the plague is slowing. Some call it luck, some call it faith, some call it a miracle. Whatever the reason, the city finally begins breathing again. Looking around, you see survivors everywhere. People who lost family. People who lost friends. People who lost everything. Yet they continue moving forward. Humanity refuses to surrender. The worst year is finally ending. The plague is not gone, but it is weakening. Hope is growing stronger. Soon, after years of death and suffering, the Black Death will begin its final chapter. Chapter 8. The End of the Plague. For the first time in years, you wake up to silence. No urgent knocking at your door. No desperate messenger waiting outside. No church bells announcing another death. The city feels different. Not healthy, but healing. New infections still appear, but far less often. The endless flood of patients has slowed. Hospitals are no longer overflowing. Funeral carts no longer fill the streets. For the first time, hope feels real. Shops begin reopening. Bakers return to work. Blacksmiths light their furnaces. Merchants reopen their stalls. The sounds of daily life slowly return, sounds that many feared they would never hear again. Children begin playing outside again. Their laughter fills the streets. Parents watch carefully, still cautious, still fearful, but hopeful. Hope has become stronger than fear. As you continue visiting patients, something remarkable happens. More people recover than die. More families celebrate than mourn. More homes welcome life than prepare for loss. The city is finally turning a corner. Yet recovery is not easy. Entire neighborhoods remain empty. Many homes have no owners left. Countless families were shattered. The scars of the plague remain visible everywhere. Some survivors return to find everything changed. Friends are gone. Businesses are gone. Communities are smaller. Life cannot return to exactly how it was before. Too much has happened. One afternoon you visit the city cemetery. Row after row of graves stretch across the horizon. Thousands of lives. Thousands of stories. Thousands of people who never saw the end of the plague. You pause in silence. You think about everyone you treated, the families you helped, the lives you could not save, the lives you did save. Every memory remains with you. Every face remains with you. As the months pass, the city grows stronger. Buildings are repaired. Farms begin producing food again. Trade slowly returns. The people who survived begin rebuilding their world. For years, your mask symbolized fear. Whenever people saw you, they expected tragedy. But now, something has changed. People greet you differently. They see survival. They see hope. One morning, you realize something extraordinary. No new plague cases have been reported. Days become weeks. Weeks become months. The Black Death is finally losing its grip on the city. The nightmare that defined an entire generation is ending. The plague is fading. The city is healing. Life is returning. Yet one final chapter remains. A chapter about legacy. A chapter about what history will remember. Chapter 9. Your Legacy. The plague is over. The city is alive again. Markets are busy. Children laugh in the streets. Church bells ring for celebrations instead of funerals. Life has returned. Yet nothing feels exactly the same. Too much has changed. Too many have been lost. Years have passed since the darkest days. New buildings stand where abandoned homes once crumbled. New families live where entire bloodlines disappeared. A new generation is growing up. Many of them barely remember the plague. Some were born after it ended. They know the stories, but they never witnessed the horror. You remember everything, every patient, every family, every desperate prayer, every funeral cart, every sleepless night. The memories remain clear, even after all these years. Historians begin recording what happened. They write about the Black Death. They write about the millions who died. They write about cities that nearly vanished. They write about the survivors, and they write about the doctors who stayed behind when others fled. You never considered yourself a hero. You were afraid. Many times? You doubted yourself? Many times? But every morning you continued your work, not because you were fearless, but because people needed help. Looking back, you realize something important. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward despite fear. Every plague doctor understood that. Every nurse, every caregiver, every volunteer, every ordinary person who chose compassion. Across Europe, entire societies changed. Labor became more valuable. Cities evolved. Medicine slowly improved. The plague left scars, but it also changed history forever. The world after the Black Death would never be the same. One afternoon, a young apprentice approaches you. He dreams of becoming a doctor. He asks what lesson he should remember. You smile, Because after everything you have seen, the answer is simple. You tell him. Knowledge matters. Skill matters. Experience matters. But never forget the people. Medicine is not about diseases. Medicine is about helping people. Always remember that. As the years continue passing, your work becomes legend. Stories spread. Children hear tales about the strange doctors with bird masks. Some stories are true, some become exaggerated, but one fact remains. The plague doctors stood their ground when the world needed them most. Eventually, your career comes to an end. The mask is no longer needed. The emergency calls stop. The plague has become history. You look at the old Beak mask one final time. A symbol of tragedy, a symbol of survival, a symbol of your life. Outside, the city continues living. New generations walk the streets. New stories are being written. Most will never know your name. Yet they live in a world shaped by people like you. People who refuse to give up. People who chose service over safety. You began as a doctor facing an unknown disease. You witnessed one of humanity's greatest tragedies. You walked through empty streets, entered infected homes, comforted the dying, helped the living, survived the impossible, and when history needed courage, you answered. This was your life. As a medieval plague doctor, millions died, millions survived, history changed forever, and you lived through it all.